Okay, so let's talk about Clipboard. The second icon that you see at the bottom of the screen is Clipboard. Okay, so it's one of the debugging tools we have in Pega. One of the debugging tools. Let me open Clipboard. Okay, so this is what a clipboard is. What exactly is a clipboard? Clipboard is a snapshot of server-side memory. Okay, so a snapshot. So let's say you submitted some data to the server. So whenever you open a particular tab in the browser, clipboards try to fetch all the information of that particular rule from the server and displays it on the clipboard for us. So if you see, I have 3 to 4 open tabs in my browser. Then here you see 3 to 4 open threads, right? So every thread corresponds to a open tab in the browser. Many people have confusion here, so I'm just trying to explain. Okay, so now I wanted to see that the information that I have provided in my work object L-15. So now I should be in my thread L-15. Okay, so this is how a clipboard looks, and these are threads. The left hand side are all pages, and right hand side you will see the properties on a page. If you click on a page, you will see the properties on that page. So what is a page? Page is a multi-valued property. So it's an embedded property. One property contains other properties inside it. Just like we discussed, employee is a page. In employee page, you will have employee ID, name, salary, designation, etc., etc. So similarly, if you see here, the many pages, there are many pages. And if you click on each page, you will see the properties and the corresponding values inside them. Okay. Now, let's see what are the types of pages available. I just collapsed this, guys, nothing. So we have four types of pages on the clipboard. User pages, nothing but pages which are created by the user under user session. Data pages, data pages are the pages who have more life and scope when compared to normal user pages. Data pages is a concept in Pega. You will be learning it soon. So then you'll understand what this is. But for now, think they have more life and scope compared to user pages. User pages are only for your requester session. So if you log off, the pages will not lie on the clipboard anymore. Whereas data pages, they're maintained at server level, I mean like node level, requester level, and at different levels. I'll explain you when I come to that concept. So just think that user pages are only per session, but data pages have more life and more scope. That's it. Linked property pages, it's also a concept in Pega. They are like pointers in your Java or C++. Linked property pages are like pointers. Sorry, C++. Okay. Then system pages, pages which are created by Pega for its internal purpose. Okay. So those pages include your current access group, means the current operator's access group details, your current application details, current operator ID information, etc. etc. Your requested thread details and all these things. Okay. So these are the various types of pages you will have on the clipboard. And whenever you click on any page on the right side, you see properties and values. Okay. And let me show you some. See, this is called as a. I want to show you some page list, page groups, value lists, and value groups. I guess I'll find some here. Give me a second. It's the page list, but still it has only one record. I wish it will have more records, then I can show you much better. Okay, let's see this. This is a page group. PY delegations for rule. See, all of them have same name, right? But what is the index? The subscript is a string. So it's a page group. Page group. Always remember, groups will have subscript as string, list will have subscript as integer. So how did you determine it's a page? Why not a value group? Yes, because when you click on this, you see properties inside it. Means it is a page group. Value group will not have properties. It's just like address of 1, address of 2, address of 3. So it will only have values. It will not have properties inside it. So page will have properties inside it. So this is a page group. Similar thing, if I might have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I would have called it as a page list. Let me see. I can figure out even page list here for you. This is a page list, but there's only one result. Awesome. I found value list for you. See this? It's a value list. How did I say it's a value list? See, POI prepared values of 1, 2, 3. There are no properties under it, right? It's an array, like I told you. Address of 1, address of 2, address of 3, names of 1, names of 2, names of 3. So it's a value list. Index is an integer and there are no child properties inside it. Okay? Excuse me. Awesome. This is a page list. See the difference between value list and page list? Page list index is integer only, but when I click on it, the properties are there inside it. So it's an embedded property, nothing but a page list. See the value list? I don't have any properties in it. I just only have that index. Got the difference? Okay. So just think that page is nothing but one complete record from the database. So it can have any number of properties like name, address, designation, salary, years of experience, technology, project, etc. etc. That's a page. Same thing if you have for n number of employees, page list. That page list having index as a string, page group. This is value list. Like address of 1, address of 2, address of 3. Email of 1, email of 2, email of 3. Phone of 1, phone of 2, phone of 3. Just one property having multiple values. Array. Instead of integer, if you give string as subscript, value group. Okay, got it. So this is what a clipboard is. So where can I see my values now? I created a case. I gave some values in it. So where can I see it? The most important page on the clipboard is PY work page. This is the page which contains a work object information. Okay. Just now you created a case, right? All the information related to the case will be here. So you can see the case ID. Okay. To which class it belongs to. It belongs to your leave class, right? Who recently updated it? Nikhila. What is the operator ID of that person? This one. Okay. And the most importantly, what all values I entered. You remember I entered employee ID. This is the value. I entered employee name, leave type, number of days I want to take leave, and somewhere you will find my reason also. Reason, vacation. And you remember first screen I did not enter anything. The annual leave, casual leave, comp offs are all nulls because I didn't enter anything. Okay. So that is how clipboard contains information. Now, one more important thing is like whatever information is present on PY workpage is the one that Pega commits automatically to the database. Let's say I created some information in PY workpage and some on PY report parent page and some on PY navigation. So I told you like whenever an assignment gets submitted, Pega doesn't auto commit. But Pega only commits data which is present on PY workpage. It is not bothered about other pages. Okay, so we put only important information on PY workpage. Other all temporary values, temporary calculations, temporary data transformations, we do not do on PY workpage. Okay, because PY workpage is your memory. You should store only what is important, not temporary stuff. So only case related important stuff we put on PY workpage and we save it. Okay, then you have an edit icon here. Edit is just to temporarily edit the values and test it. This is not going to change the values in the database or on the server. Okay, but temporary testing, we put the values, come back to the case and we test it. uh, Gaurav, property exposing, I'll get back to you when I teach reporting. In reporting, we do that property optimization or exposing. We'll do it at that time. Okay. Uh, Okay. Remind me if I forget, but I'll not forget because reporting cannot be completed without optimization. It's a mandatory thing for us. I'll teach you when we come at that time. Okay. Then under actions, you can see the XML and JSON for this page. Execute activity means nothing. You can run activities. You haven't learned activity rules in Pega yet. You will get to know later. Oh, I have some question. Let me read it. PY work page data means data it's already committed to the database. Perfect, Giri. Yes, the data that is committed to the database. So when does data get committed to the database? When I submit my UI screen. So until I submit my UI screen, all these values would be empty. After I submit it, they get the values populated. Okay. And under tools, you can see your clipboard size. If you click on collect details, sorry, not collect details, analyze. When you click on analyze, you can even find your memory size here. So you see this column size, right? So now search for your thread. Okay. Now you see my clipboard is occupying 84 KB. So my POA workpage says 84 KB. That's how I get to know how much huge amount of data I'm putting on my clipboard. At least for that page. Okay. And yeah, somebody might have a question. How much size of data clipboard can hold? No limitation, guys. It's our server memory. So the how many number of hard disks you put is how much it can hold. So whenever we install Pega, usually Pega admins will decide like how much is for your clipboard, nothing but how much is for Pega server. So that is what is clipboard size. So Pega doesn't give any limitations. So you as much you want, you increase the size of your clipboard. Okay. Uh, yeah. Try to understand it. Let me know if you have any questions on clipboard. Of course, Sridhar. It's a right point. Guys, he has a question like, does it not lead to performance issues if we have a huge amount of data on the clipboard? Yes, it is going to lead to. Either your server will come down or your work object will take too much of time for processing. Yeah. It's expected. That is the reason we try to maintain only important stuff on the pure workbench and try to search for other alternatives. Do not maintain huge amount of data on pure work pages. Depending on your requirement, Giri. So, like on what basis we decide whether it's a pages or a values or a value group. Sim- Simple, just like your requirement. Let's say I'm pulling all my leaves information from database, or just say I'm pulling. Okay, let's say I'm pulling all the employees leaves, all employees leaves. Okay, so then what do I expect for each employee? I expect employee ID. Okay. And the count of casual leaves, count of privilege leaves. Okay. Gaurav, I saw your question. I'll get back to you. Okay. I expect count of casual leaves, count of privilege leaves, and count of annual leaves. Okay. And what if I want only for single employee? Assume that I'm going to pass the employee ID as 1, 2, 3 and I want his details. So in this case, I would need just a page. Because I just need only one page for one employee, one page, and I'll populate all his details. Assume that I'm building a report. Okay, I need all employees, uh, casual, planned, and annual leaves. All employees means one page for each employee. So then you can go for either page list or page group. Okay, because one employee per page. Then when you decide when do you want to go for a list and when do you want to go for a group. See, if I'm, let's say, if I'm performing any search on this page list, let's say, I want to identify employees uh, who is employee ID equal to some 568. Okay, then it would be difficult for me to iterate on all these pages. Let's say I had like 100 employees. So on all the 100 records, I need to iterate and identify where employee ID equal to that 568 or something. So this iteration is a time waste for me, right? Now it is 100 records, very good, I can iterate. What if I have 10 million records? The search consumes more time, right? So in this case, we prefer index-based searching. Means I'll pass an index, I want the record immediately. So in that case, instead of having this as EMPL of 1, EMPL of 2 and EMPL of 3, we prefer having EMPL of employee ID, which can be 568. So I pass 568 as a input and immediately Pega will get me employee of 568. So to use indexed based search, we prefer groups. Otherwise, normally page lists are fine. Only when you end up with a concept where you need its index based searching, we go with groups. It's fine otherwise. Okay. So this is page list and page group. Coming to value list and value group, just like in your example, you have address of one, address of two. An employee has multiple addresses, one billing address, one shipping address. Uh, guys, Giri, I'll complete this and again get back to your question. So if I have address of one, address of two, address of three, I'll give it as 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let's say I have a requirement where I'll be shipping the product to the person and I want to get only the shipping address. So if you say address of one, address of two, address of three, I can't judge which is shipping address, right? Because you might be changing many homes in the last 1 year. So I can't judge like out of all those addresses in your profile which I need to share. So instead of it, if you can have something like this address of shipping, it's easy for me to figure out which is shipping address. So we usually maintain subscripts for indexed-based search. That's it. Okay. And all requirements means yes, if you have all requirements, yes, you will create all three. Value list, value group, page list, you will do it. Okay. Again, if edit properties in the clipboard, how does it affect the application? Is it affected immediately? What possible for? Nothing. Usually QA people for testing. Let's say for example, uh, let us say for example you have 10 screens. Okay, on the first screen if you select some condition, on the 10th screen some field will appear. Okay, so you have 5 test cases for that. You have to give different values in first screen to see different outcomes in 10th screen. Now QA people cannot create cases 5 times, complete all the 10 screens to see that value on the 10th screen. So what they do is give some value on the first screen, come to your 10th screen, you see the outcome of first test case. Then instead of creating a case again, they simply go to clipboard and change the value in the clipboard for the value that they have to change in the first screen. Then they submit it, they come back and just refresh the screen, the other value will come. So that's how they do it. They manually feed input to see the outputs. Not just to do, if we also want, we can do it, but we hardly do it in real time. But if you want, you can do that way. But that will not commit data to DB, just only for your testing. Like if this value was there, what could have been output? If you want to see, we just go change in the clipboard and refresh the screen here. You will see the new outcomes. Okay. Any more questions, guys? Okay. So now on this Friday, I want you to have another task or an exam kind of on properties. So please make sure like you are well versed with properties. We'll be doing it on Friday. Okay, for now we'll do hands-on and Friday I'll give you a task kind of. So this is about properties and clipboard. Okay. Now, moving on to the next topic, that is database tables. In your first screen, you have to display privileged casual annual leaves for each and every employee from the DB. But where is my table? So I want to build that. Yes, somebody has another question. In page list, their pages have a definite order, but group is no order. Yes. So usually we say page list is an ordered list, group is an unordered list. Because group is having text and you can't order it. It can be anything. List is so straightforward 1 to 3 numbers, so it's an ordered list. Your previous question I answered na clipboard one only, right? I told na if you edit properties, I told you with a QA example now. It will not affect the application. I mean, like currently only for this scenario it will affect. As I told you, in first screen you gave some info. On 10th screen you expect some output, and you want to do that first screen input and 10th screen output for 5 scenarios. Instead of creating 5 cases, you create one case, come to the front screen, test one scenario, then go to the clipboard, change the value, just refresh your 10th screen, you will see the other value. So that's how it is. Like UI people use it for editing, just for temporary testing, and it will affect immediately. Because what is there in clipboard is what you see here, and what you see here is what is there in clipboard. They both are tightly coupled here. Okay. So now I want to tell you like what are the types of tables we use and how do we create tables in Pega and what is the difference between your RDB tables and these tables and other stuff. And the main idea behind this is I want to create a table for storing my leave types. I mean employee and how many leaves he has. So whenever the employee logs in, his leaves will display here. Okay. So now let's talk about just a second. Where was your task that I wrote? Fine, we'll take care. Okay. So coming to data tables. Okay. So data tables in Pega. Guys, I'm not saying database tables. I'm just telling data tables. Okay. So there's a difference for us in data tables and database tables. So data tables are nothing but the tables that we create from Pega portal. So when we create a table from Pega portal, we call it as data table. When you create it from your database like Oracle or SQL or any Hadoop or whatever, if you create it, we call it the database tables. So these things are called as data tables. So in Pega, we deal with two types of tables, one is data tables as well as database tables also. So what are data tables? Data tables are the tables which store data in the form of blob. Means they convert the data into blob, means zeros and ones, binary large object. Blob means they convert the data into zeros and ones and they compress it and they store it. Okay. So in Pega, almost all your tables are blob data tables. Okay. So in Pega, every concrete class is attached to a table. So now today you created a case. All these cases are getting stored into a table. Okay. So whatever you values enter for a privilege, casual, or whatever you entered in the second screen, everything is getting stored in a table. Okay. So every class is attached to a table. So whenever you create an instance of that class, then that instance, nothing but work object, gets stored in the table, mapped to that class. So till now you have been creating work objects for leave class, right? So my work objects will be stored in a table which is mapped to my leave class. So if you right click and set definition, the class rule form will open. Now if you click on test connection, it will tell me to which database I am connected and to which table with schema. So I am in Pega data database. I am in personal edition schema and this is my table name. Usually The name of your table is nothing but PC underscore your class name. So BY hyphen time off hyphen work. Okay. Nothing but your parent class name. Okay. Why parent class name? You remember in the beginning of the classes we discussed about class group, is a class group, belongs to a class group, things. So belongs to a class group means I share the table with my parent. So it is belongs to a class group means I share the table with my parent. So this class will store all its instances in parent class table. That is what is happening. PC underscore parent class name. Okay. So whenever you create a work object to a class, the work objects are stored in the table mapped to your class. Okay. So if you want to see the table, yes, we can log in into your database and we can see it. We'll do it later. Just give me 1 second. Yes, somebody has a question. Let me see. How does the work object get mapped to the table? It is all internally being taken care of Pega. So whenever you create a case and whenever you submit an assignment, every time you submit, I said Pega is doing a save and commit. To which table it is doing save and commit then? To this table only, guys. So Pega is doing a save and commit to this table only. Okay. So if you create a case of some X class, Pega will do a save and commit to that X class corresponding table. Okay. And all your values are getting converted into blob and they are stored. So if you open this particular table and see, you will not find a column called as casual leave, privileged leave, employee ID, employee name. No, there is not a single column like that. There are all some Pega's default columns in the table. Okay. And there is only one column called as PZPV stream. Very important question. They ask you in which column your blob data is stored. PZPV stream is the name of the column in which whole work object information is stored. Whole information is stored like a blob. So the whole information that you give for a work object is converted into zeros and ones and stored here. So this whole thing contains all the information you entered. You entered privilege leave, you entered employee ID, city, country, state, whatever you enter, all in one single column PZPV stream. Okay. And how do you retrieve data from blob? Pega has some inbuilt methods to do that. We'll be learning it later. For now, the agenda is only tables, so let's focus on tables. Okay. Yeah, I have some questions. I answered your question, right, Chandra? It is being mapped whenever because it checks whenever you do an OBJ save. I mean, whenever you commit an assignment, Pega checks to which class this work object is getting created. So the class mapping table it will identify and it will do it. If you want to map it to an external column, external database, you need to create a table in external database, create table name, and define all your columns. Then you can come and map it here. Okay, I got your question now. So where this class and table mapping is mentioned, I'll tell you. Just under Records Explorer, under sysadmin, we find something called as database table. So this is an instance which maintains relationship between the class and the table. So which class belongs to which table we maintain here. Where is your leave class? Okay, let me take any class otherwise for now. Just I'm taking a framework class. Okay, so this is the class name, and here you specify in which schema, which table. So if you want to map it to some new external RDB table, you can just remove this and put your table name here, and put your schema here. That's it. You can simply connect. Okay, so this rule specifies which class is mapped to which table. If you change the mapping here, it will change the way it stores. I mean, the table into which it stores, it will change. Okay. Does that answer your question, Chandra, or you have any more queries? Okay. Okay. So this is your work object, and whatever information you give and you submit, whenever you submit, Pega identifies, hey, to which to which table my class is mapped to, and it will save it in the table. So if you want, we'll tomorrow later we'll open the database and we'll see these tables and the work objects in it. Okay. But for now, if you want to see all the instances that you created till day, just right click on your class and say view. Oh no, even right click is not required. Just click on your class. You will see all the work objects you created till day. These are all the things that we created till day. Okay. You can open each one of them if you want to open. Okay. Not default table. Mm, if your class is not mapped to any of your tables, Pega by default maps it to PC underscore work. But usually we'll have mappings to the right tables or the right classes. But by default, if there's no mapping, it is to PC underscore work. It's a default table for all your work classes, Giri. Okay. So guys, usually when we create classes, if you do not map it to any table, Pega's default table is PC underscore work. For work classes, this is work class, right? Similarly, data class I'll be teaching you now. Then I'll tell you for data, the default one is PR underscore data. We'll discuss. Okay. Okay. So this is how the class and tables are mapped. Okay. Now, so you saw how class and tables are mapped. Very good. This is about work object tables. Now I want to have some tables where I maintain my data. So in Pega, we differentiate between work and data. So work means creating work objects, maintaining the business rules and processing them. Data means you maintain a central repository. Okay. So where you maintain all the data required for displaying or capturing information and storing and whatnot. So we have two types of, as I told you, at the rate base class has many child classes inside it. That starting day I was telling you, right? At the rate base class is the parent of all the classes in Pega, topmost class, under which we have Pega's out of the work class, data class, int class, many classes are there. So till today you are working with Pega's work classes only because you're dealing with only work class till today. Now tomorrow onwards we'll be starting working on data classes. So data classes are nothing but they're just like DB tables. You maintain a table, you store all the data into it, and you use it in your work object creation, like displaying privilege, leaves count, and all those things. Helping users changing his password. So you basically maintain some tables, dump data into it, and you use it. So for that we have this data classes concept. Okay, as every class in Pega is mapped to a table, if you create a table in Pega, it should and must be mapped with a class. Why should and must be mapped? I'll tell you. What will a table have? Table will have columns, right? And how does Pega handle these columns? We need some variables, right, to store the value that came from the column. So you need properties. Sorry. Okay. So properties in Pega are mapped to columns in a table. So whenever you create a table, Pega by default creates a class. Whenever you create a column, Pega by default creates properties. So there is a mapping between all these four. Okay, so that is how Pega is even saving it to your DB. So whenever you submit your screen and you specify employee D123 name Nikhila, how will Pega know? Like this property should be stored in this column, this property should be there in this column. How will Pega know that? Because Pega maintains an internal mapping saying that hey, this property belongs to this column. Whenever you create a table itself, Pega will start maintaining that mappings. Okay, just try to understand this. We'll do hands-on tomorrow. Let me know if you have any queries. Most of your doubts will get clear tomorrow once you do hands-on. Yes, data more reusability in the sense, yes, that is the reason actually we maintain work and data separately in Pega. The reason is if I maintain data as a separate component, Many applications can use it, right? Let's say you all belong to banking project, okay? But yours is credit card, somebody says debit card, somebody says some XYZ, insurance or something. And all of you have one common table where you maintain the, what is it, customer details. Okay, everybody is using it. So because all three have different projects, you all three maintain different database connections, you all three maintain the same table in all your three schemas. Waste, right? Instead of that, why don't you all guys have in one common data repository and maintain that? Same thing we do in Pega. We are maintaining data separately because multiple applications can reuse that data. Okay? So we maintain work data separately. Yes, data classes have a more reusability. Uh, yes, each property is an individual column. It's one-on-one mapping. Yes, Kiri. But this is the case if and only if it's an exposed table. But in a blob table, usually, although you have multiple properties, Pega maps them to a single column PZ stream. But internally, Pega has some logic to identify which property belongs to which this thing in PZ stream also. That is the reason when you retrieve the data, you'll get the right ones. Pega maintains something internally for its mappings. Okay, that's it for today, guys. Okay, let's meet tomorrow and start working on database columns. In the document system architect essentials, I asked you to complete for till page number 26, right? Now, I'll just take to the next page number. Please try to complete till sections, flow actions, and properties. Okay, either you study or you do hands-on, anything I'm fine. But please just move through the document. Okay. Yeah, that's it, guys. And hope you also registered into PDN. Please start going through the videos in System Architecture Essentials 1 and 2. Okay, start with System Architecture Essentials 1 of Pega 7.2. Okay, okay, guys. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Sure, sure. I'll send it to you. Yeah, Ravi, go ahead with your question. Not a problem. I'll just Ravi, just type your question. In the meanwhile, I'll be just taking jar for how to customize branding. I didn't get your question. Branding in the sense? Login page. Okay, okay. Um, you can just find like login page is also a section and flow action. You just can just open it, save as into your rule set, and you can customize it. They are also just sections and flow actions. Now you can do it. I need to identify which section and which flow action it is. If you can identify that, I can just tell you. Otherwise, I need to put some effort in identifying which is that. I need some time, then I can tell you. Because I have to verify the Pegasus out of the box rules to identify which section and flow action it is. Or if we can search in PDN also, we have some. Yeah, yeah, you can start doing it then I'll help you if you have the PDN steps. Because customizing it is not a part of it, and usually not many people customize it. Out of my 9 projects or something, I saw only one project customizing that home screen. Because we usually give single sign-ons to users, they don't even see the home screen of Pega. You start doing it, Ravi. If you're stuck anywhere, I can help you out. But as that is not a part of this content, it is not so like important. I'm not taking that up. Otherwise, if it is something very important from your interview or career, I would have surely taken it up. Just start doing it. If you're stuck, I'll surely help you out. But don't worry. One thing I'm pretty sure, not hardly people customize it the home screen. Yeah, we don't usually do that. Not a major requirement actually. Okay. Not much helps it is, because thing is, it's a simple UI change na, so customizing that is not a major requirement for clients. Instead of that, just try to concentrate more on Pega robotics, Pega machine learning, something that will help in your resume, because that is something new in the market now, and we are rarely find people like that. So just focus on such kind of things, and it's very helpful. Just tell them I went through your courses of Pega robotics or something. It's something adds to your resume. It's something good. But these things, they think like, hey, if I give time to any of my developers, they can also customize the screen. So it doesn't actually impress your resume. That's what I mean. Pega is with robotics and machine learning and many things, guys. Maybe if you get some time, you can go through the many videos in PDN once. Pega can also help you in building a mobile app within, not even within 5 minutes. You can convert your web app into mobile app. There's a video on YouTube how to build a Pega mobile app. Just see how quick you can build a mobile app in Pega. Instantly you can do it. So just for fun, go through those videos. It's good actually. Okay. Okay, guys. Then thank you so much. Have a nice day. Sridhar, I'll send it to you. Okay.